We're joined now by Glenn Beck, the nationally syndicated radio host of the Glenn Beck program. He's also the founder of Blaze Media, the world's first conservative streaming subscription network, and founder of Torch, his groundbreaking new company that features his entire catalog of work spanning decades. Glenn, we are so excited to have you. Thank you so much for being here. So I want to start by playing you something that you said to me about 4 weeks ago in February when we had you on the show. It was right before the president strikes in Iran began. And this is what you said. Take a look.
I would advise any other president, stay out of it, stay out of it. However, this president and his team at the Pentagon has done remarkable things. He knows something we don't know. This team could go in and actually pull something off quickly, and it could happen not in a night, but it could happen in a couple of weeks.
To me, that was just so prescient. Do you stand by all of that?
Well, not obviously the couple of weeks. It's been a month, but I do stand by that. I mean, we cannot have a nuclear-armed Iran, and everybody has said that. Every president has said that. None of them have had the cojones to move. They've always kicked it down the can down the road. You're not going to be able to have a stable America if you can't have a somewhat stable Middle East. We've got to get out of the Middle East. And he's created the atmosphere through the Abraham Accords and then through his peace council. And the way he's brought all of the allies together in the Middle East, when Egypt and Saudi Arabia are willing to stand with Israel, that's saying something. And they're all recognizing the same thing. There are certain things that only we can do, but we are not there to fix the problem. We are not there to put the pieces back together. We are there for our national interest. And one of our national interests is to get out of that region as much as possible and let them deal with it. But again, there are only certain things that we have the capability of doing. Regime change is not one of them. I would be disappointed if we leave the Middle East and this is the end of it, and they're now charging $2 million or $1 million per ship that goes through. However, on Monday, I'm going to lay out an outline of, because I think that's lemons, that's bad. But if you look at it slightly differently, we may be making some of the best lemonade America has ever had. I'm not saying this is the plan. I'm not saying this is what we're doing, but we have to be open to looking at bigger visions because the entire world is changing. And Donald Trump, I sat down with him about 100 days into his term, and I said, you are reorganizing the entire world. You're throwing out what we built with the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1945. You're throwing all of this out. You're remaking the entire world, our allies and everything. And he said, yes, I am. And I hadn't heard anybody actually say that. You have to look at a much bigger picture, not this small little slice. And now, of course, it's understandable why the mainstream liberal media, which is so in the pocket of the Democrats, would not want to cover the accuracy of what you just laid out. There are also some on the far right in the podcast sphere who have been very against the president, escalating rhetoric against this operation in Iran. The president finally had enough of it, and yesterday he really laid into some of these podcasters, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly. He basically excommunicated them. He said, you people are not MAGA anymore. The MAGA movement is behind me. He's definitely right on the polling. What was your reaction when he said that? I don't like to get into the podcast wars because I don't want to talk about the personalities. I would like to talk about the principles. I said yesterday, before you made this statement, there's some people that were saying yesterday, Pakistan, the prime minister of Pakistan said that Israel broke the truce because yada, yada. And I said, well, our president didn't say that. Our president said, and I said, I don't believe Israel because Israel has its own goals. They feel this is an existential threat to them, and I believe it is for them, and they've got different goals than we do. I don't believe Prime Minister of Pakistan, does anybody even know his name that was talking about him? I put my trust into our own president. Listen what came out today. The defense minister of Pakistan, so they're, they're head of the Pentagon, if you will. He said, and this is our team, advising us, Israel is evil and a curse for humanity. While peace talks are underway in Islamabad, genocide is being committed in Lebanon. Innocent civilians are being killed by Israel. First Gaza, then Iran, and now Lebanon. Bloodletting continues unabated. I hope and pray for people who created this cancerous state on Palestinian land to get rid of European Jews to burn in hell.
Wow.
This is the team that yesterday some of these podcasters was actually saying, I believe that the people in Pakistan more than I believe my president. This is just, it's not un-American to disagree with our president. It is un-American to root against our own president and to trust him less than these people. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I think there's a great fog, the fog of war that is happening, and it's dangerous. It's got to stop.
And it's encompassing the liberal mainstream media, the podcast hysteria, but also our allies in Europe, who I have frequently referred to as a deadbeat husband who brings nothing to the table, freeloads off of you, takes half of what you own, and doesn't even put out, Glenn. And I think that something has really been revealed here, which is how broken our relationship is with these people who simultaneously have the chutzpah to lecture us while freeloading off of the American working class.
Look at what he's exposed here, just in this. He's exposed, I'm going to push to the wall, I'm going to hit your power plants. What do? We evacuate people when we think something's going to hit. They took people, and how many do you think were volunteers? They took their own people and surrounded those power plants. So they've revealed who they are, okay? Saudi Arabia and the Middle East have revealed who they are. They will allow us to do these things, but when we say, you know what, you're going to have to pick up the slack, all of a sudden they can find a way to get along to try to hold us into place as long as we can. But in the end, they will do it and act exactly the same way. They were never pushed into it. Our quote allies in NATO have exposed them as the freeloaders that they are. And they have exposed themselves as being afraid of their own radicalized population. Why can Saudi Arabia do the things that they can do and stand with America? Because they know who the radicals are, and they have them under control in a very brutal way, but they have them under control. The West is in denial on what is happening with the Islamic invasion of the Western world. And Donald Trump is the only one revealing all of this so everybody can see the lay of the land. And then he's saying, and we're coming home. We're not retreating from the world and leaving it in a vacuum, but we're in trouble. You all will not even recognize the problems. We'll recognize the problems. You want to join us? Join us. If not, get your own oil.
That is such a good point, because you're so right that the Gulf, in its understanding of the threat of the Muslim Brotherhood, has actually gotten it under control and then exported it to Europe, who are just allowing it to run rampant. Glenn, before I let you go, I have to ask you in the minute we have left about your latest venture. Tell us what's going on with you.
So we're I did a documentary on this subject. And in fact, we talk about the Muslim Brotherhood and how I believe it's the UAE. It's in the documentary. The UAE has just said they won't take and send their own youth to Great Britain for an education because they're coming back radicalized from the Muslim Brotherhood in Great Britain. They are well aware of what is going on. We're denying this, and we're playing these stupid games while we're seeing all of this defray. And it's going to become a major battle unless we take the steps to stop it now. So I made a documentary. It comes with a workbook, doesn't have my name or face on it, so you can spread it with your family and friends. This has to go to your churches and your synagogues. It has to go to your school boards. You have to know what's going on, and you can find it at stoptheconquest.com. It's absolutely free. Just share it with everyone you know and watch. You will be more well-informed than most members of Congress just by watching this hour special.
Glenn Beck, from the bottom of my heart, God bless you and protect you. Thank you for being such a patriot and such a friend to the Jews.
You are welcome. It is an honor. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.